One of the great things about WordPress is that when you add a new post to your site, WordPress will automatically add links to that page. If you've got plugins for a sitemap, then a link will be added to the sitemap. If you're using tags on the post, you're going to end up with links from tag pages. You're going to end up with links from category pages and so on. But these links generally are going to be using the title of the article in the link text, and the internal linking actually can have a major effect on your ranking. While it's becoming more and more difficult to get anchor text rich keyword links from other websites because it's spammy and Google know and we know that it's not natural, it is natural to have keyword anchor text on your own site to direct your visitors around the site. And that's where a plugin can really come in useful. Now, the plugin I use is called C.I.Backlinks, and I want to show you how it works. And to start off with, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Google. I've got a website and I've got this page here, and it's on juicing and helping people with osteoporosis by juicing. Okay, this is actually a tag page I'm going to use as an example. Let me just lower this down so you can see the URL. This is a tag page, and I want that tag page to perform better. I want it to rank better for osteoporosis related terms. And at the moment, because it's a tag page, the links to this from places on my site, wherever it uses the tags at the end of an article, the actual anchor text is going to be osteoporosis, the name of the page. It's not going to be this title. This is actually something I've set up so that I've got an introduction to my tag page before it then lists the articles that are tagged with that particular tag. But any article, let's go over and find one just quickly. Here's one. This has been tagged with osteoporosis. And if we go down and have a look at the metadata from this, down here somewhere, okay, tagged with, and you can see there's a link here to osteoporosis, and that is the only link text that is pointing back at my osteoporosis page. And that, to be honest, looks a little bit abnormal to Google, because Google likes to see varied link text. If you're linking to a page on your site, Google likes to see that you're thinking of your visitors and trying to make it easy for them rather than some automated process. And nothing screams more automated than having every single link text pointing to a page being identical. Now, I've developed a tool to help me sort out and fix anchor text problems on a website that I use in conjunction with the C.I.Backlinks plugin, and I want to show you some of the analysis that I've done on this Juicing the Rainbow tag page for osteoporosis, and show you what the internal linking is currently doing for this page. And here is the report on the screen now. You can see this is the page, tag osteoporosis, and there are a total of 9 links pointing to that page. Now that's quite good, because it means Google will at least find this tag osteoporosis web page. But what's not so good is that 90% of links use the term osteoporosis. Now my tool is highlighting that as a high percentage, which is true, it is a very high percentage. And the reason is that there's no real internal linking set up for this particular tag page, and my site is relying on the WordPress setup of tags to link to that page to help it to rank. And you can see also there is a previous page, 11% of links use the anchor text previous page, so that would be some sort of archived page. If we go over to Google, let's just go over to Google and do a quick search. I'm going to just type juicing osteoporosis and do a search for that and see if I'm ranked anywhere. Okay, I am. So at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There I am. 8th position in Google for juicing osteoporosis. Now, that's not bad. I'm quite happy with that. But I think with a bit of internal linking, I can fix that. And so this is where I'm going to use the internal linking plugin called C.I.Backlinks. Now, the first thing I need to do really is to have a look and see what keywords or phrases are being used on my site that can be used as internal linking. So I'm going to just do a search for osteoporosis. And I'm using a Google search box that I've set up on my site because it's far better than the WordPress default search box. And you'll see that the word osteoporosis is highlighted in bold, so I can quickly spot potential ideas for backlinking anchor texts. So osteoporosis is the obvious one, and let's just keep going down a little bit. We could have effect on osteoporosis as a potential backlink anchor text. Here's a good one: prevent osteoporosis. Okay, risk factor of for osteoporosis, preventing osteoporosis. There's risk of osteoporosis again. Symptoms of osteoporosis, diseases like osteoporosis, and I've got 4 pages here of articles on the site that could link protection against osteoporosis. Okay, so what I did was collect a list of the words and phrases that I think would be useful to include and link back to my tag page on osteoporosis, and I've put them in order with the longest one first. The reason I'm doing that is the way that the plugin works, because the plugin, I always set it up so that only the first instance of a phrase will be linked to on a page. So for example, if the word osteoporosis appears 10 times on the page, I only want the first instance to link, because if you start allowing more linking than that, it starts looking a bit spammy. Now, the way that the plugin works, if I had osteoporosis at the top, the plugin goes through my list, and if it finds the first word on the page, it will link to it. If it doesn't find the first word, it goes to the next one, and then the next one, until it finds a phrase that's on the page. Now, if I put osteoporosis there, then none of these other terms are going to be linked at all in internal linking, because the internal link will be taken up with the first phrase, osteoporosis, which is in all those phrases. So we're going to put that at the bottom of the list, and then we can have a look through. If the plugin finds chronic diseases like osteoporosis, it will use that as the internal link anchor text. If it doesn't find that, it moves to this one, then this one, then this one. And by putting them in this order, we can make sure that we get a diverse range of anchor texts. Okay, so let's go over to the internal linking plugin, C.I.Backlinks. You can see I'm already over there, and you can see I've already got a lot of internal linking set up on the site. Each of these rectangles here are individual pages with internal linking and anchor text set up. The first thing I want to do is grab the URL of my page, and let me find where it is. I actually made a copy, didn't I, over here, so let me just copy this instead, it's easier. I'm going to go back to the plugin, and I'm going to paste in my URL. This is where I put the keywords in, but first let me just explain the other options down here. Title: whenever you create an anchor text, a link on your site, there is room for a title attribute, and basically the title is used for mouse overs. So if somebody mouses over a link, I don't know whether I can, let me just go here and see if I can find a quick link. Okay, here's some links here. If somebody mouses over the link, if you've got the title attribute defined, then a little pop-up, little help button or bubble will appear with the title attribute. The problem is that SEOs and webmasters have been using that to spam Google and to try and stuff keywords. And for me, it's a little bit dodgy. I certainly would not use a title attribute that was the same as the anchor text. And so really what I do is I just leave it empty. And I don't use that title text. That title tag. Phrase frequency, I use 1. URL frequency, I use 1 as well. What that means is, remember what I said, that if you have 10 different occurrences of osteoporosis on a page, it will only link the first one. That is the frequency, the phrase frequency. The URL frequency is the number of links that are allowed to a particular URL, and I only want the content of my text to be linked to once. If I'd have set up multiple ones here, or I'd allowed a phrase frequency of more than one or something, then this would possibly mean that more than one link is going to a particular URL in the body of an article, and I don't want that. I want a maximum of one link to each article from a particular article within the content. Now, we've got some options here as well. You can open the link in the same window or into a blank window. I always choose the same. We want to ignore the case, so that, for example, if the word is osteoporosis with a capital O, then that is the same as osteoporosis with a little o. They're both linked the same. And ignore headers. That means that if a keyword appears in a headline, then it's not going to be linked. Self-links, that will basically mean, here we have a web page here on niacin, vitamin B3. That means if the word niacin was in the body of this, which it will be, and I'd set up internal linking so that niacin linked to this page, then because I've got self-links disabled, it means that that link, that anchor text won't link back to this page. It doesn't allow a page to link to itself. And the other thing you can do is you can have add rel equals no follow. which means that your links would not pass link juice. Okay. What you can do as well down here, you can exclude certain pages. Every page on your site has a page ID, and you can, or post ID. If I just open that up, you can have a quick look. Okay, if I mouse over here, if you look down in this bottom left area, when I mouse over something, you'll see post equals, and that one's post equals 3091. That's post equals 3088. That number is the post ID, and you can list post IDs here if you want to globally exclude them from having any internal linking on those pages. Maximum replacements. This is the number of replacements that can appear on a page. I just leave that empty, and then just leave these checked as well. Match full words means that, for example, if I had the word apple and I wanted it linked to a particular page on apples, then if the word apples appeared with an S on the end, and my word apple is part of apples, then if I had that unchecked, then that apple in the full word of apples would be linked, and it would look a bit strange. You'd have APPLE hyperlinked and then an S on the end, which isn't hyperlinked. So match full words only. And CSS class, leave it blank. You can add a class if you want to, and that class is added to the link as well, but that I recommend you leave it blank. And then headers, these are the headers that you want to exclude here from internal links, and I just put H1 to H6, all of them. Okay, and then you can update those. Right, let's go back up here, and we're going to start adding in the keywords. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to copy my first one, paste it in, copy the next one, paste it in, hit return, and continue until I've done the whole list. And I've just finished the last one there now. So we just press return. I've got the link in there, title blank, phrase frequency 1, URL frequency 1, everything else left as they are. Click on add phrase, and we'll find that the phrase is now added to the top. Here we go. And you can click on that to configure it, edit things. You can drag these around as well if you want to reorder them. And remember, I recommend you reorder them so that the longest phrases are at the top. Okay, and then when you're finished, you can just click on the save at the bottom, save phrases. Okay, so now by doing that, wherever these words appear in my website, we're going to have internal links, and I can show you this now. Let me just go over and copy one of these phrases to find it somewhere on my site, and then we'll click through to the page that has that phrase. Okay, this one. And that phrase now should be linked and hyperlinked to my osteoporosis. Let me just find the phrase. Here we go. Close that. You can see here, chronic diseases like osteoporosis is now linked to, let me click the link, to my tag page. And by doing that, I've just added lots and lots of backlinks to the tag page, and hopefully that's going to help tell Google this is a more important page, rank it better. Now, just to show you what the new profile looks like, let's have a look. The old one, this was the old profile. I've copied it down here. Well, let me bring the internal linking tool. The old profile is this one. Here's the URL. Total number of links was 9, and 89% were using osteoporosis and 11% using previous page. What I'm going to do is, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to empty all caches on the site, because my site is using a plugin to cache the pages, which means they're stored, and I want to delete the caches because I want those pages to be reloaded, because if they're not reloaded, then I'm going to get the same results as before. Then I'm going to go over to this website, xmlsitemaps.com. I've put in my URL already, and I've had the sitemap generated, because you can get a sitemap generator for any URL here, for any website, and this is what I use when I'm using my internal link analysis tool. I'm going to right click this link, copy link to clipboard. I'll just do that right. Yeah, copy link address, and I'm going to go back here. In fact, I've already got the URL pasted in. I'm going to clear IE cache, because what happens is my tool will also cache the downloads, and if I don't click IE cache, then the same pages are going to be downloaded again, or at least the cache versions are going to be used, and those cache versions haven't got the changes. So we need to just clear that cache as well. And then click on Parse Sitemap, and you can follow the process down the bottom. You can see the links detected, and basically the tool will go through every link in the sitemap and it will check for any links on those pages and make a record of them. And it does take a few minutes because this site has, I think this site has over 300 pages, so it's going to take a few minutes. Okay, the software has finished, and this is the report here, 6th of November, and it's got the time there, so I know that that's the one that I'm interested in. Just double click that, and we're going to go and we're going to run the anchor text for the whole site again, and we can pull up the, well, in fact, let's just go straight to the one we're interested. We're going to look at anchor text to a URL, and I've pasted in the osteoporosis tag page there. Let's have a look. Okay, so now we have all of these links, 15 saying osteoporosis, one with prevent osteoporosis, one with this, one, each of these with one other item or anchor text being used on a particular page. We can get more details with some of the other things here. Let me just do the whole site run and we'll see what happened there. Okay, that report's done. Let me just scroll down to where the osteoporosis one is listed. Here we are. And I'll bring in the previous results we had, which you can see over here. Before we had a total of 9 links, 88% or 89% with the link text osteoporosis. Now we have 23 links, so we've added 14 links, and 65% are osteoporosis, and then there's 1 or roughly 4% each of the others, making a much better anchor text profile for that particular page, and we'll see what happens with that. Now, the way I like to use this plugin is anytime I add a new page to my site, I'll go in, put the URL in here, and add in some anchor text that I would like to be used to link to that page. And it's very quick. Within 2 or 3 minutes I can have multiple links going to any page I want, just like we've just done with the osteoporosis page. And you know, it's so much easier than if you wanted to do this manually, if you wanted to internally link manually. If I wanted to have pages and do this manually, if I wanted to have pages linking to this page using these link texts, I would have to open up all of these pages individually. Let's just say the ones I've just put in. It means I would have to open up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different pages, manually paste in the link text code, and then what happens if I, for some reason, change the URL of this page, the tag page? If the URL changes, then these links would all be dead. Whereas if the URL changes here, all I do is go in, C.I.Backlinks, change the URL there, and all of the links that are linking to that page will be updated. So that's the power of C.I.Backlinks, and I use it on all my sites, and I do use it to link sculpt on the site, something which I don't do anymore with inbound links from other websites. I don't use anchor text, keyword-rich anchor text. What I do is I use links back to the home page using the title of the website or the bare URL. Or if I'm going to link to an individual page, I'll use the title that's on the page to link to. I never try and insert words. I'd never try and put an article on another site that had the word osteoporosis in it linked back to this page. The reason is that used to work. Now Google is aware of all that, and with Google Panda and particularly Google Penguin, it doesn't work and you're going to get your site penalized. So if you want a good strategy for linking the different pages on your site and getting them to rank for individual keywords, I would suggest you forget keyword-rich anchor text coming in from other websites. So don't create an article and use keyword-rich anchor text and link to pages on your site. If you want to link to your site, I would recommend you use only the title of the article you're linking to, or the URL, the bare URL, or if you're linking to the home page, then use the name of the website. In order to rank for individual keyword phrases, you need to optimize your pages for those, and that's a whole nother topic all by itself. But you can give Google a push in the right direction by using the internal linking on the rest of your site to tell them this is what this page is about. And that's what we did with the osteoporosis. We've increased the number of anchor texts going to that page, telling Google it's more important, to give it a bit more relevance please. And we've also got a variety of different keyword phrases in there as well, which makes it look a lot more natural. So that's how I use C.I.Backlinks.